Greetings, fellow Dimension Travelers. It is I, David X, the Chaos-Fused Hedgehog at your service, and welcome back to Elevator Source. Now, today isn't your traditional elevator source. Oh, no, no, no. For those of you that remember, I actually did a video on this game once, and I decided, now that I played this game fully, it's time that I review behind the scenes on what this game has to offer. So if we no-clip out of here, you can see all the different kinds of rooms. As you can see, most of them are very closely connected to each other, in more ways than one. Like this one with the black void. As you saw there, you can't really remove anything there for some odd reason. Yeah. Remember. So let's start off. First off, we have the basic room. So as you can see, there's actually no walls whenever you look at the main office thing from the inside here. It's kind of weird, I know. Next up, we have this remix room, which, as you can see, these are actually 2D sprites, as they feel 2D in more ways than one. Although only the front texture is only seeable. And surprisingly, you could actually crouch jump over this ledge, and you can find that there's no higher ground. It's just a barrier. It's just a illusion that there's a barrier. Next up, we have a party room. And if you notice, the twirling ballerina girl looking thing is not really here. That's because they hid an illusion, as whenever it's time for the player to go into that specific room, they actually activate a few things. Even this room, which, as you can see, there's supposed to be a skeleton, but there isn't. There's also a very hidden stairway right here, which I thought was really nice. Next up, we have the black and white room. If you notice, the fire isn't lit like it should be, which I found interesting. Next up, we have the flaming house room. And oh man, ow. Yeah, the fire actually hurts you. Yeah, the building that gets on fire is actually quite ridiculous, I know. Now we have this abandoned room, which, if you actually look at this room very closely, you can find out that this room is actually fully modeled. Out of all the rooms, this is the only one that's fully modeled. Fully modeled whenever you enter inside of it. It's actually quite unique, it really is. And I pressed V again, dang it. Although you can't enter in any of the doors, I mean, why should you? Why should you? Yeah, surprising how much detail to this. And apparently, this garage door here was not meant to be used at one point. And we look inside, yeah, none of these doors go anywhere. We have the normal elevator, which, if you actually look at it on the inside a little, which you can actually, right here is actually a brick wall. They actually made that brick wall just to hide the illusion that, you're basically, someone that's waiting for the next floor. And here we have that one room where it's basically, the guy flies out. As you can see, there's no actual building here. It's actually nowhere to be seen. So yeah. Next up, we have the office room. And as you can see here, there's no details or models in here. And if you notice, there's actually not only a working ceiling fan, but these buildings here are actually fully modeled. And you can actually see a little bit of a reflection, which is actually the elevator floor. And this guy right here is a ragdoll. Is actually a ragdoll. Or actually, no, this is an NPC. This is actually an NPC based on a ragdoll. But as you can clearly tell, you're not supposed to see him with the flashlight. But with the flashlight, you can see that not really much was done to his face. But if you look at his suit, it actually looks a whole lot like Mayor Breen in some ways, which I thought was cool. Next up, we have the opening to James Bond, which will remove each of the doors so you can see the sequence. You may have thought that some of you may have thought that this was an elevator, but it actually turns out that that room specifically doesn't really have any doors. Sadly, you can't get rid of the elevator doors. And of course, now we have the factory floor, which, as you can see, there's no modeling in the back here, but there's at least a little hallway thing. Now let's take a look at this. Industrial renovation. Are you industrialists? Because you better be. As you can see, apparently we have brandings of each of these sodas, which we have Fanta, Coca-Cola, Sprite, Diet Coke, I think that's like Dasani, as well as Coke Zero. And I think that's like 7-Up, I think? I'm not sure. And there's nothing in here. Oh, remember this one? That one room where you fall down to the very bottom? Yeah. Apparently this roof part is actually just a texture. It's not modeled in any way. Now we have the airlock system. As you see, this very cool spaceship. If I remember correctly, this is supposed to be the spaceship from Aliens. I'm not sure. It just looked familiar. And remember this with the dancing robots? As you can see, this right here is a technique that was that was actually used in many other games. And apparently, whenever there's only like a certain amount of robots, you see like 4 robots at a time. And when one of those robots is about to disappear, that's when it gets removed from one side and then heads onto the other. And seeing these robots up close, you can actually see that the robots are fully modeled. Although their feet are kind of but if you notice, their feet are kind of sticking through the platform a bit. Well, they probably did it because normally they would make you think that would be their feet. It was just 2 stilts. And of course, we have the Jurassic Park scene with the ginormous T-Rex. Eventually, I will install Counter-Strike for that, so don't worry. Now, if we explore around a few more rooms, let's see. Oh yeah, this is the normal room. So the brick wall I was talking about was actually the announcement where the person that the guy didn't want to include the GMod tower content. Oh yeah, also this map is slowly connected to the Skybox for some odd reason, even though the Skybox is technically down there. Next up, we have the Smoky Room, where it's like all snowy and smoky and stuff. Now, oh yeah, this is the one with the cat faces, but you can't really, although they're not there because the room isn't activated yet. Normally, most of the objects would ever spawn until you, actually, most of the things won't spawn until you actually, get there. And this guy is actually dead inside. You can actually see that he doesn't have any, eyeballs. And also, this door right here just leads to nowhere. It actually doesn't lead anywhere. Just so you guys were wondering. And you know what? For the sake of this, I think I'm going to save this as my thumbnail. Right here. There we go. Alright. Next up we have... Oh, also another thing. In a detective room, you can actually see rain particles. It's not actually raining. Those are actual particles that the maker of this map actually edited into the windows. Which actually adds in a really good illusion. Next up, we have the main room, which is the room that you stop on. Actually, these buildings right here aren't supposed to be a part of the Skybox. They're just... And... Whoa! What in the world? You can break the windows? Let me turn down my sound. Apparently, you can break one of those windows in. Oh yeah, the TV isn't here. And nor is the pool ball table things in this slots. As you see all these really cool different rooms. You can see how much detail I put into this. Also, one of the lights, I noticed that one of the lights here were sticking out. So that's kind of weird. But good work on trying to set it up. That takes an awful amount of skill. Oh, and also, we have the beach level. And surprisingly, this room actually has modern furniture housing. And what's behind here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Before we end it off, we're gonna go to the Skybox! Which the Skybox is basically, the main hotel room and stuff. So yeah, a little, preview of what there is. Now, now of course, one question you may know, is the yandere there? No. Like I said before, only certain things spawn whenever you, get to that certain room. But, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the, behind-the-scenes video of this game, of Elevator Source in Gary's mod. Hope to see you all in the future. If you guys enjoyed this, behind-the-scenes video, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. Remember to subscribe and enable notifications, that way you won't miss a video from me or Sonic the Hedgehog. Don't forget to join the Discord server down in the description below. And if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to travel to another dimension as usual. Bye-bye!